Greetings and salutations, scholars. My name is Eli Engler, and welcome to the 9th episode of our Scholars with a Capital S podcast. I'm here joined today with my co-host Rachel and our very special guest, Becca Carpenter. Say hi to our audience, Becca.
Hi.
Rachel, do you want to say hi too?
Hello, everyone.
Welcome. So this is our 9th episode, like I said before, which is crazy that we've gotten this far. We haven't been canceled yet, thankfully.
We're almost at double digits.
Yeah, so it's been a wild ride, and we're still going. We're still moving along, churning this podcast out bi-weekly. And we're going to start, like we always do, with a 60-second elevator pitch of our guest, Becca. So imagine you're talking to someone who's never met you before. They have no idea who Becca is. Just little background, who you are, what someone would want to know about you.
All right, yeah, so my name is Becca. I am a junior computer engineering major. I live in Utica. Let's see, I really like plants and animals, so that's pretty cool. Because as more technically related, I'm also on the Mars rover team, which is really fun. If you've never heard of it, you should definitely check us out. And yeah. Is that good?
That's awesome.
That's
yeah,
perfect. You're perfect,
Thank
Becca.
you, Becca. Yeah.
So follow-up question. Why did you decide to come to Binghamton, and what role did Scholars play in that decision?
One of the main driving factors for my decision to come to Binghamton was the engineering program. It was one of the few that kind of allowed you to come in as a first-year student and not immediately decide what engineering major you were going to be. You kind of had the first year to take some beginning classes, get introduced to the different majors, and then you got to decide, which was super helpful for me. When I came to Binghamton, I actually thought I was going to be a biomedical engineering major, and now I'm here as a computer engineering major. So life happens. Yeah. The Scholars program, it was definitely, I liked the idea of kind of having that community coming in, having some place where I knew, I would go and live with all these people who had also made it into the program, so they were had a similar drive as me, but also had a big variety of interests and kind of what they liked to do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you for sharing that. And then kind of following up on that, what got you interested in engineering in the first place? And then specifically, what drew you to computer engineering as opposed to, say, biomedical engineering?
Yeah, so in middle school and high school, I went to some STEM summer camps, and that's kind of where I started getting introduced to engineering, because my school itself didn't really have many great options for classes. And the summer camps that I went to were primarily biomedical engineering, because that's kind of what I was, at the time, more interested in. I also was part of a science research class in high school that kind of allowed me to explore that a little bit further, so that was a lot of fun. But then in my senior year of high school, I took a robotics class, and that is kind of what really started drawing me to computer engineering, but I wasn't really sure, as I kind of said. So then when I came to Binghamton, and we kind of, in our first year engineering classes, we have a lot of projects that we do, one of them being the Arduino project. So we basically get an Arduino board and we get the very basics of a game, and we have to kind of expand upon that game and make it better and produce a finalized product. And I just thought that was so cool, and I really, really liked it. And I decided computer engineering was for me.
That's awesome. Do you, is there a job or a career in the field that you're particularly interested in?
Yeah, my main interest is robotics. I'm hoping after I'm done at Binghamton to go on and get my PhD in robotics.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I support you. Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yeah. For those in the audience who do not know, Rebecca over here is my roommate. We've been living together since sophomore year, met through Scholars, obviously. And you are probably one of the most busy and involved people I know.
Yeah.
So to start, I want to ask you about IEEE, actually, which you might be shocked by.
Ooh.
And so what are some cool things you've done with them? How did you find out about them? Why were you interested? The whole shebang.
Yeah.
Just what is IEEE?
Yes, that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
big acronym.
IEEE is the Institute for Electrical and Electronics Engineers. It's basically a professional society here on campus and also nationally for electrical and computer engineering students primarily. And so, yeah, I first became interested in it because actually after my freshman year here at Binghamton, I had an internship. And at that internship, I met a guy named Andrew Benacasa, who is a student here. He is now a senior electrical engineer. And he was still is the president of IEEE. And he was like, hey, we're trying to kind of make this club kind of come back after COVID, because COVID kind of hurt it and made it die down a little bit. And we're going to plan a whole bunch of cool activities, and you should totally come. And so I kind of kept an eye on their Instagram, and I dragged along my other roommate, Lauren Fry.
Also been on the podcast.
Yes. And she and I checked it out, and they had a lot of kind of fun, both like fun activities and professional activities. One of my favorites was probably their, I think they called it their Valentronics, like...
I went to that event.
Yes, event. That was the word I was looking for. I couldn't find it. And while there, you made a cute little Valentine's card, and you got an LED and a battery, and you could make it light up. And so, yeah, they do a whole bunch of different activities, like resume workshops and soldering workshops. So, yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Nah, solder isn't that dangerous. Just you don't touch the hot part of it. But yeah, so IEEE is really cool, and I would highly recommend anyone check it out, because it's not just for computer and electrical engineering majors. Anyone is welcome.
That's awesome. I think the lesson there is, go get involved in clubs, right? Like,
yes.
You never know what cool, fun activities you might find you might not otherwise have gotten into.
Definitely.
And so kind of following up on that, you alluded to this earlier about your involvement on the Mars rover team. So we were kind of interested to hear more about what that's been like. What is Mars rover? Because I think you hear that and you think of a Mars rover. But what does that mean for like a club or an organization on a college campus? And then kind of what has been your role within the team, and what have you learned from this experience?
Yeah, so Mars Rover is a student-run competition team here on campus. We each year compete in the University Rover Challenge, URC, and basically what that has us do is we build a mock Mars rover pretty much from scratch. And so here on campus, we are divided into several different sub-teams, each that kind of has their own task on the rover. So like there's the drive team, which kind of makes the physical body of the rover, that everything else sits on, the wheels, all of that stuff. There is the human-robot environmental interaction team, HREI team, and they are responsible for building our robotic arm that has to kind of, in the overall competition, do several different missions and tasks, like picking up heavy objects or flipping switches, that kind of thing. Then there is the environmental analysis team. That's the one that I'm part of. And we are responsible for building a system that can collect soil samples and then test them for signs of life. So those are kind of the three mechanical teams. And then there's also the electrical team, which creates all of our PCBs, printed circuit boards, for anyone who's not a technical major.
No, Rachel and I totally knew that.
I was like, I'm following.
Yeah.
And they do all of our wiring. There is the software team. They create all of our code that kind of makes the entire rover do what we want it to do. And then there is the project operations and management team, and they help out with kind of making sure we're all staying on track for our schedules and kind of interconnecting the teams, and they help us write some of our papers that we have to submit for the actual competition.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of Rover as a whole. As I kind of mentioned, I'm on the environmental analysis team. My first 2 years here at Binghamton, I was a team member, so I kind of was told to do various random tasks, and I did them. So that was like creating parts using computer-aided design or CAD. For a while, I was helping out the software team and writing some of the code for our specific motors. And now this year, I am the team lead for the environmental analysis team. So now I still do technical tasks, but I also kind of help all of my team members out and give them tasks to do and make sure we're all staying on track and that our system will work as a whole.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And you'll have to let us know if you find life on Mars, because I'm very curious now.
So true. Unfortunately, we don't go to Mars for our competition, but we do get to go to Utah. We went to Utah this past year because we made it to the finals of the competition, and it was a really, really cool experience.
That is. congratulations on making it that far. That's
Thank you.
That's a great honor.
And I'm sure one day Becca will make a real Mars rover. And so kind of pivoting away from your on-campus experience, I want to tap into what it's been like for you and Scholars. Some of these are mutual experiences between the two of us. So what Scholars classes have you taken, and what was your experience with them?
Yeah, so the first one I took was obviously Scholars 127. That one, it was a fun first semester class. I had some of my friends in it, so that kind of made it better. I got to know people a little bit better. Two of my friends that were in that class with me, Lauren and Carissa, I'm still very, very close friends with today. So then next up was History Goes to the Movie. I don't know what the exact code was, but that it was not my favorite class. But I think I'm obviously more interested in kind of technical STEM side of things, not kind of analyzing movies and literature. So it was good that I kind of experienced it and saw another side of things, but it definitely was not my preferred topic that I would have liked to learn about. But that's just me being a nerd.
Definitely reified the fact that you are a STEM major.
Yes. And so then next was the debate class. I don't know what its actual name is.
Community building via debate.
Thank you. I really, really loved that class. My debate partner was Rachel, and we had a great time. I feel like we did very well. We went to 2 tournaments and both times scored pretty highly. We were on the debate team for a short period of time before both of us kind of realized that we were spreading ourselves too thin and that it was not feasible to continue. But if I had more time in my life, I would absolutely still be doing debate. I really, really enjoyed it. And so then the last Scholars course I took was Scholars 227. That was also fun. It was kind of interesting to hear the different discussions. I'm glad I took it with my friends because it kind of made the classroom a more welcoming environment and made me more comfortable to talk because I'm not typically one to raise my hand and engage in discussions. But no, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I have to ask about the debate class. Was your favorite moment when you and Rachel defeated me and Abby in the in-class tournament and we ran the Bigfoot affirmative?
Oh, that was... What a debate.
I can't believe Abby and I lost. Shout out Abby Ma, my debate partner. But, yeah, I'm still upset about that.
No, Becca and I were just too powerful.
No, clearly, yeah. But I did win the solo in-person tournament. So,
Very
we're all champions in a way.
Exactly.
I think we actually technically are the 3-class champions right here.
There you go.
Special, a reunion, some would say.
The cream of the crop.
Yes.
So on the same note of Scholars, how have you or how are you going to be completing your Scholars 3 and 4 requirements?
So my Scholars 3 requirement I have already completed. Last year, I was a undergraduate course assistant or UCA for the first year engineering program. And I had a great time. It was super fun. I got to go into the first year engineering lab and kind of help out whenever a student had an issue. And I thought it was a lot of fun kind of giving back to that program in the same way that kind of when I was going through it, my UCAs had done for me. So that was Scholars 3. Scholars 4, I haven't completed yet, but my engineering capstone course, kind of my senior project covers it. So that's how I will be doing that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, let's say I think Lauren had similar answers when we had
Yep.
her on the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, she was a UCA this past fall semester, and she will also be using senior project for Scholars 4. So,
Yep.
woohoo!
It's that engineering life.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, as a junior, you've already kind of got your path laid out to complete your Scholars minor and everything. So what has your favorite part been about being a scholar?
I definitely say the community. I think pretty much all of my closest friends have come from the Scholars program, and really kind of the group that I had lived with first year. And so I think that kind of living together first year and making those connections was really important and one of my favorite parts for sure.
Yeah, I think that's been a common answer we've heard, the community. But it's like it's cliche, but it's so true, right? Like it's just facts, you know, it's factual information.
Yeah, even like the people who I'm not like super close with anymore, like who I recognize from living with first year, like if we see each other on campus, I'll still wave hi, we'll like do a little bit of talk, and it's nice just having those familiar faces around campus.
And even like occasionally there'll just be like there's threads that connect all of us, you know, so there will be like group hangouts where you'll see people, and it's just kind of like welcoming to know that everyone's still doing well.
Yes.
You know, and like think back to that first year, but it really is crazy how we just spread throughout all of campus. You could find a scholar that touches on like every activity. Like we're all connected. So true.
Yeah. Okay. On the similar note, or maybe a different note, like what's one thing that you would like to see change in the Scholars program? Or we ask this every time. If you could change one thing, realistic, unrealistic, whatever you could change, you know, what would that be?
I feel like maybe having some classes that are more like experiential learning based.
Good answer.
Like I know we've kind of recently started having upper level scholars teach younger levels, but I think having more things like that where you can kind of go into the classroom and not just sit in a lecture, but really like build something or kind of do something more hands-on. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah, I feel like it would be interesting if you could get scholars into like a lab.
Yeah.
To like actually do stuff, because that's not typically what we offer, but like even like 3D printing or like soldering, you know, I think that'd be really cool.
I mean, we have the baking class now,
right, which is awesome.
Like I think definitely a great example of that. I could see like a class in the greenhouse. You
oh
know?
my goodness, yes. Get Carissa Tripp on it, guys.
Yes, she loves the greenhouse.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a really good answer. I love that one, and I think that would be very popular if we had more of those experiential type. Really like hands-on as opposed to discussion or lecture-based classes.
Yes. It's the engineer in me.
Yeah.
I like hands-on.
Absolutely.
Becca, the ultimate problem solver. You and Lauren, man.
Yeah.
If there is ever an issue, something's broken, something's not working, something's confusing, you put the two of them on it, solved. Include Caroline. Any engineer in the Scholars program's got you. So this next question... Oh, it's another kind of difficult one.
Okay.
But what does being a scholar, with a capital S, mean to you?
Oh, gosh. I feel like it means, like, being a part of something bigger. Being part of a community. Being part of, like, a group of students who, from one perspective, are very kind of... similar. We're well-driven. We've done well in our classes, but we're also so incredibly diverse in our interests and kind of our backgrounds and where we've come from. So it's just kind of being part of that larger community.
Yes, great answer.
That is a good answer, yeah. So we're going to switch a little bit off of Scholars just to the Binghamton area as a whole. What are some of your favorite things to do, restaurants, places, whatever, just things in the Binghamton area that you really have come to enjoy over the last 3 years?
Very recently, Lauren and I have started taking a bus to the Aldi up on Front Street, and across from that Aldi is a bakery, and it has such good brownies. It is incredible. Would highly recommend. I don't really know the name of it, but maybe like
Aldi on Front Street.
Yes, maybe like Pinky's Bakery. I don't know. It's really good. Would highly recommend. Let's see. What's that one restaurant we like? 21 Dry?
205.
205 Dry, thank you. 205 Dry is also really, really cool. I love kind of the vibes of that restaurant. It's speakeasy themed, so you go in through like a hidden door in the bookcase. It has really great mocktails for those who are underage and cocktails for those who are overage.
Yes, great cocktails for those 21 and up. Can attest.
Also has really good food. There's this one appetizers that's like little meatballs that are like cheesy and they're
good.
so
amazing.
good.
Every time you gotta get it. You're a frequenter of Strange Brew, you and Lauren.
Yes, very recently. Now that we live downtown, Lauren and I go to Strange Brew more often than we probably should.
All right.
But yeah, no, also has very good drinks. I'm a huge fan of chai lattes, and they have a very good one. They also have really good bubble teas, and like mac and cheese and sandwiches.
Strange Brew's good.
They have great breakfast sandwiches that are like huge. Yeah, would highly recommend. If you couldn't tell, I really like food.
Don't we all? It's the best part, I think, about being downtown is like the food.
Yes, definitely.
Also, I have to say, Becca and Lauren have an unhealthy obsession with Boscov's. If you want to tap on that.
So what is Boscov's?
It's a department store, but the one here in Binghamton has like 4 or 5 floors. It's huge. And there's like anything that you could ever need in there. They have really cheap clothes, which is always good. I don't know, they have like random kitchen supplies, all sorts of stuff that you could need. And I think it's, like, I've seen Boscov's before, but mine is only ever like 1 or 2 floors. Like, this thing is huge.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I had never heard of Boscov's before coming to Binghamton.
Really?
Yeah.
Neither had I.
What?
Must be like an upstate.
It's an upstate
Not that
thing.
Binghamton is upstate.
You
That's
upstaters.
a debate for a different podcast.
Oof.
If Binghamton is upstate or not. But
Definitely upstate.
is it Becca, as in someone from actual upstate? Do you think Binghamton is upstate?
I consider it's southern tier. It's
Southern
not
tier.
like, I don't know. I break up upstate into several different parts.
Okay.
And so Binghamton is maybe part of like the larger upstate, but I'd consider it southern tier.
What's hilarious is me, a New Yorker, had never even heard the term Southern Tier until I started going to Binghamton. It was just upstate.
So you think Binghamton's upstate?
Yes!
See, I,
well, yes!
as an objective out-of-state student here, I think if you are in the southern tier of something, that cannot be up, right? South is inherently down.
Okay, but the Southern Tier of New York is not Southern at all.
Oh, it's southern.
Like, compared to the rest of upstate, yeah.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
No. All right. We'll save this for another segment.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, Google a map of New York, find Binghamton, and you cannot genuinely say that's upstate. It's
great
on the
state to
southern
be.
border.
But the bottom of New York is Long Island.
It's so small, right?
What? It's
Like,
Long
geographically-
Island. It's
geographically
New
it's small.
York.
When you look at the
City.
state, the majority of the land mass is above Binghamton.
True.
If you do it, right? The people.
Very
if you go by
true.
people, then maybe there's an argument that there's more people.
All right, but that's because it has the city.
The city, right? And Long
Upstate
Island,
is not nearly as like densely populated.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we have to pack this one up.
Okay. They have one more question for you.
Okay.
Yes. What would be your ultimate dream career path after college? This can be like realistically what you really hope for, or something like absolutely wild, fantastical, unicorn princess crazy.
All right. So my current plan is to get my PhD in robotics. Don't really know where I'm going to go for that, but I'll figure it out. And then after that, I want to become a professor. I think that would be really cool. Being able to teach and do research is definitely something I'm very interested in. Something a little bit more far-fetched, I feel like being a research engineer at like NASA or something would be
Build a
super
Mars
cool.
rover.
Build a Mars rover. But right now that's not necessarily where I'm shooting for, but who knows where I'll end up.
That's awesome.
I think that's where Becca will end up.
Yeah, I think as a backup, you should like maybe become a Hogwarts professor. You know, in terms of the unrealistic path.
Obvi.
I think
Are
I
we
would
all
love to
Ravenclaws
be.
here?
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Scholar life.
It is.
Indeed.
I wonder, like the distribution, right, of compared to the whole university. That'd be an interesting study.
It would
Everyone
be.
send your Pottermore results. We're gonna do a poll.
Yeah. Okay, so if you've listened to the podcast before, you know what time it is. It's actually not quite game time. We have a segment before game time. It's going to be our recommendation rectangle. And so today we're all going to recommend a movie.
Woo!
Becca, do you want to go first or last?
I'll go first.
Go first?
Why not?
Woo!
So my movie rec is Elemental it's on Disney Plus. I think it's super cute. It's an animated movie, but it does kind of speak to kind of larger issues in society. So I really liked it. And yeah, it's fun.
I'm going to support that. I saw it in theaters, and I know it didn't get like the greatest reviews of all the Pixar movies. I thought it was really sweet, and there were some really nice like family moments that I really appreciated. So
Screw the critics.
I feel like I don't know. Very rarely do I pay attention to what movie critics say. I just kind of go in with it, and I'm like, that was cute, that was fun. Why not?
The only
That's
person
probably
I
helpful.
trust is Elijah Engler in the arts and culture section of Pipe Dream and what he has to say.
thank you.
So
true. Rachel, would you like to go next?
Sure. I have a similar gripe with my movie. So I picked Marie Antoinette, which is a movie directed by Sofia Coppola. Did not get great reviews. transparently. But I think it's like one of the coolest movies I've ever seen. Kirsten Dunst stars as Marie Antoinette, and it does this cool thing where it takes obviously like a story from like old France, like Revolution era time, right? But it has like a very modern soundtrack. And it's just like a very cool and interesting story that kind of takes like a historical figure that's often kind of chalked up to just being like a wealthy elitist, like doesn't care about anything, and kind of shows her story as like a young girl just like thrown into royalty who had really no conception of what was going on outside in her life, and kind of like the tragedy of that when she's, spoiler alert, killed. So I just really enjoy that movie and the way it kind of combines the modern and the past in a story of girlhood, which Sofia Coppola always does so well. So highly recommend.
Yes, I watched that class in a cinema class here. I watched that movie in a cinema class.
Did you?
Here, and it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Thank you, Eli.
I have not seen it, but I definitely want to
to
check it out.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah. So it's my turn, and as the resident movie critic, I'm gonna pick one that actually critics liked. But
Yes.
so I'm picking Past Lives, which came out this past year, 2023. It is currently nominated for 2 Oscars for Best Original Screenplay and Best Picture. Although, with my insider knowledge, I don't think it's going to win either. Unfortunately, I'd love for it to win both of those, and I think it should have picked up more. But that's another podcast.
The Oscars, man.
So Past Lives, it is this movie about these two, well, it starts off these 2 kids in, I believe, South Korea, and they, like, go on a date, and they're, like, starting to, like, fall in love, you know? Not that happens after one date, but whatever. It's a little unrealistic, but
okay, wow.
But then, like, the girl, like, moves to Canada, and they, like, don't talk for a while, and then, like, reconnect later in life. And it's kind of interesting to see how their lives have changed and their feelings for each other, and how that they have to reconcile that with their current lives. And so it's really interesting, really sad, as I'm sure you can imagine. But it's a really excellent kind of, it's a little slower paced film, very like realistic, true to life stories, you know, about lost love, things like that.
I love a story that can tap into like the human condition.
Exactly.
I want something that makes me feel something.
Yes, it is very much about the human condition. Yes. Okay, so we survived recommendation rectangle.
Woo-hoo!
We got 3. Everyone's got 3 new movie recs to go check out, and it's time for everyone's favorite segment, game time.
Woo!
Yay!
So how this game time is going to work is it's going to be a superlative showdown. So since the 3 of us have known each other for a few years now, I thought
That's crazy.
Oh, how the days have passed.
Through many journeys.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it would be fun if we kind of played a little superlative game. So I'm going to ask a question, and it's going to be like, who is the best, blank? And then we all pick one of us 3, and your goal is to match with someone else. So if, like, let's say the question is, like, who, has the best podcast, right? And we'd all say Eli and Rachel.
Obviously.
Yeah, although for this game, you only pick one person, right?
Yeah.
And then if you match with someone, you get a point. If we all say the same person, we all get a point. Although it's kind of a wash at that point.
Yeah.
But if you don't match, you don't get a point. Okay. So our first question is, who drinks the most coffee? So I feel like this is kind of a freebie. I have, I think, unless I'm totally off base. But
Oh.
okay, so Rachel, what did you say?
Rachel.
I also put Rachel.
I also put Rachel. All right, so you all got a point. We're tied at 1 apiece after 1 question.
Woohoo.
All right, question number 2 is it's who is the best chef?
Easy.
Easy.
Okay, I have an answer. All right, Rachel, what'd you say?
Elijah.
Eli.
I also said Eli.
Wow.
Okay. It'd be very funny if you all
Someone's
said
confident. Okay.
Yeah, I had a feeling that okay, this
Eli
one I think
makes really good chicken parm.
Eli does make good chicken parm.
Thank
Eli
you.
also is a great baker. I don't know if
So
that's
true.
included in the umbrella of chef, but
thank you. Yeah,
I've seen him
technically.
make bread, I think. You made a really good
I've eaten his
eggplant
bread.
parm.
Yeah, eggplant.
Yeah.
Yay, food.
We love food. Yes.
We do love food.
Okay, question number 3. This one is not as easy, I don't think. Who is the best driver? And not golf, who hits the longest drive. It's who is the best car driver.
Okay, depends on your definition.
I have an answer and a justification, so I'm gonna. But I don't know if anyone else is thinking the same way.
I have an answer and a justification.
All right, Rachel, who'd you say?
Rachel.
What'd you say, Becca?
I said Eli.
Oh, I said Rachel. Because I feel like you drive people for ballroom.
I do.
Know? So that was my thought. I was like, oh, you gotta be pretty good to do that.
Yeah, I drive long distances. I had to drive to Maryland. I had to drive to Princeton, there and back. And I took no breaks both times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
Okay, so I've become a very violent driver. Sorry, guys. Becca knows I brake kind of crazy.
Maybe that's why I got
which is
the
why
vote from Becca.
I knew whatever.
Yeah,
but
sorry,
I
Rachel.
feel like Becca is too scared to drive. And I feel like Eli's probably too cautious. So
Yeah.
even though sometimes I stop short, most of the time it's out of like, oh, I have people in the car and the light's turning red and I could probably like make it at this yellow, but like, is that like wrong? And then I like stop really short. So it's like fine.
I will say I've never gotten a ticket, so
I also have never gotten a ticket.
Okay, I was being attacked by a plot by the upstate police as I was coming back from break. 4 people got pulled over on the way that I knew, not including the 3 other cars I saw get pulled over, okay? I wasn't that over the speed limit, guys.
if your argument involves saying there's a conspiracy against you, you're probably not making a good one. But,
I mean, like, no, it
I'm
is
sure
true.
the officers would agree, okay?
It is true.
And I graciously took that ticket, all right?
On my
Okay.
way home this past weekend, I had to drive like up through Syracuse 81, I think it is, and my sister and I saw like 5 or 6 people pulled over. It was crazy.
And I was coming down a hill. I was trying to brake because of the automatic incline and speed, whatever.
the physics, yeah.
Yeah.
But you got the question. You are the best driver.
Woo!
But yeah, I appreciate the vote.
Like,
Becca.
no one's gonna listen to this and agree. Like,
Okay, this is another tough one.
not
Who is
easy.
the most scholarly?
Be strategic.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, Rachel, who'd you say?
Becca.
I also said Becca.
I said Becca too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We all get a point. That's just a no-brainer.
Thanks, guys.
When I think of scholar, I think the first person is probably Becca. So,
Well, I appreciate that. I try my best.
so right now the score is 4 points for me and Rachel, 3 points for Becca,
Raw.
which is ironic given that you were just naming the vote most scholarly. But you know what? That's a nice consolation prize. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, question number 5. Who watches the most TV? I don't even
I've
know.
already answered.
You've already answered. I'm
Yeah.
still thinking.
Does TV include movies or is movies separate?
No, TV,
The
I'd say.
television shows. I know
Okay.
it's complicated because of streaming, right? So like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna count streaming, but streaming of series.
Series. Like,
Maybe
you're like
series,
watching
yeah.
like Friends on Netflix. You're not like watching a movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because there's like a difference in taste in regards to like liking TV and maybe not, you know?
yeah, for
Okay.
sure. All right, Rachel, who'd you say?
Eli.
I said Becca.
I said Rachel.
What?
That's crazy. So I didn't expect that.
I
to
feel
happen.
like in reality, like it's definitely Eli.
No, I don't watch.
I feel like he
watch
watches
I don't watch
movies.
TV.
Oh really?
I
I,
watch
feel like
such
you've
little
watched
TV.
so many series because like I hear you're like I love Breaking Bad and The Bear.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so true.
I love. I guess it's just those 2.
I guess like historically, I'm thinking when I'm home, I watch a lot of TV. When I'm at school, I don't watch TV.
Yeah, I think engaging in any form of hobby is like kind of difficult at school because you're just so focusing so heavily on like the academic and the social.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
okay.
agree.
Yeah.
So no one gets a point.
No one gets a point. All right, that makes me feel better.
Yeah. Okay. So this one is one of the fun
Oh
ones.
no.
Who do you think scored the highest on the SATs or the ACTs?
All right, I'm gonna go with my gut.
See, the thing is, like, I have like some information here about different people's scores.
What?
Oh, okay,
Oh, yeah.
like okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, I'm locked in.
Okay, me too.
Rachel, what'd you say?
Becca.
I said Eli.
I said Becca.
Okay.
Okay, but I know you didn't take it.
I did
That's
not
why
take
I
an
would've-
SAT.
You would have been
Yeah.
in the consideration, but I knew you didn't take it, Rachel.
Yes.
I
But-
took a PSAT. I didn't take
You
the
didn't
actual
take
SAT.
So I guess the answer is me then.
Yes, I took a PSAT as well. I
Yeah,
didn't take
but
the
I
actual-
took the ACT and I got a
Right.
perfect score.
That's so funny. COVID
There
babies,
you
man.
go.
Wow! Oh my
That's
god,
crazy.
that's insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, so I was right.
Yes,
For the record.
you were right, but
Yeah,
you don't get a point.
You don't get a
No,
point.
I know.
So Rachel and I are at 5 points. Becca's at 3. We have 4 questions remaining.
Okay.
All right, so question number 7. Who plays the most video games? This is, I This is a tough one. Kind of between two, but are we all ready?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel, who'd you say?
Rachel.
I said Eli. I was going to say Rachel.
I'm a gamer girl, guys.
Oh, yeah. And we love you.
Thank you. I don't play them as much when I'm in school, but the gross amount that I play them when I'm home, I think more than makes up for it.
Yeah, I think at school I probably... Because Edward and I play a lot of video games.
Because it's like, the thing with me is with the games I play, I'm not like sitting around for like 2 or 3 hours like playing games with people. It's like, no, I'm investing like over 100 hours into a video game. Like,
yeah, I think you got me.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I was thinking at school. Yeah. All right, so Rachel takes the lead, 6 points. I have 5 points. Becca has 4 points.
I'm coming back.
All right, question number 8. Who would make the best surgeon? It's a very, very difficult
I have an
one.
answer.
Best surgeon, because there's a lot of things that go into being a
I know,
surgeon.
and I'm thinking about all of them, and I think I'm happy with my answer.
I think I'm going to be happy with my answer once I'm locked in, which I am.
I'm also locked in.
All right, Rachel, what'd you say?
Eli.
I said Rachel.
I said Becca.
What? I cannot believe you put me.
Different.
I don't know. I feel like you can be very, very focused, and I don't know. I trust you to be a surgeon.
I feel like the thing about Eli is, like, first of all, you have this STEM brain, so, like, you could totally get through med school. But also, you're able of being, like, calm. You're very, like, you're very
That's true.
organized when you have your schedule. You're very efficient. And it's not that Becca isn't, but I do feel like Becca would probably be more anxious about killing someone than you would.
Oh, absolutely. I could never be a surgeon.
That's what I said Becca.
That was what-
because I thought you're very calm, but then I was like, it might be too much pressure.
Yeah.
But honestly, for me too, so.
I also have really, really shaky hands.
So
So
me as well, actually, yeah.
See,
Maybe Rachel's the right answer.
Yeah, I guess so. I did at one point think about being a neurosurgeon when I was in middle school.
I
I'm
also
not
had that phase.
actually terrible at, like, science and math and stuff. I just don't prefer it, so.
That's fair.
Okay, so it is
Oh, this is actually hard.
question number 9.
Oh, God.
Who has the worst handwriting? And we can all kind of see each other's right now. I actually, like, I don't know either of your handwriting that well.
Oh,
It's chronologically.
I've seen some notes. Yeah. Okay.
I'm just gonna go with the statistics, which, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Rachel, what'd you say?
I said Becca.
I said Becca.
Oh, I said Eli. That's crazy. I don't think yours is that bad. Becca.
Becca's trying right now.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I have time.
you have time, but
When
I've
I'm in
seen
class,
her
all
notes.
bets are off.
You should see. Lauren has these gorgeous, highlighted, beautiful, like little, just beautiful things, displays. You know.
Yes.
And then you see Becca's monstrosity, and you're like, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's rough. But you know what? I can read them, and that's what matters.
That is
Yes,
important.
it's true.
Yeah. Actually, I don't think I've ever really seen your handwriting until right now, and I thought it looked fine.
I'll show you my notes. They're rough.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So actually, the score right now is 7 for Rachel, 5 for me and Becca. So Rachel, you won. Congratulations. But we have one more question, just for fun.
We gotta do the last question.
This is probably one of the more interesting ones, I think, too. It's who would be the best parent / guardian? This is a tough one. Because, like, low-key, I think we'd all be fine, you know?
I'd make it.
We'd all survive.
Okay.
All right, Rachel, who'd you say?
I said Rachel.
I said Eli.
I said Becca. Now they're all... That's so interesting.
Can I explain myself?
Yeah.
I almost put you like very
I
close.
say this purely because I'm always described as mother, but also I really feel like my parents kind of got it down, and I feel like I could do it. I could very easily just give myself away to a kid. You know what I'm saying? Give my full self to a kid.
I was like,
the key.
the wording is interesting.
No, sorry, but I feel like the key to parenting, because I think about it a lot, is you need to be at a point in your life in which you can fully give up your time and your fun and whatever for your kid, and I've already accepted that. So I feel like when I'm ready to have a kid, it'll just be yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think you will be a very good parent.
Thanks, Becca.
I think we'll all be great.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't think you'd be great parents. I just thought about it a lot. So I was like, I should put myself down.
Yeah. Becca, I put you because I thought you're very nice. And you seem
You're
like,
very nice.
I feel like I'd be a pushover.
I was just gonna say, I feel like Becca would not be able to reprimand her kids.
I don't know. My parents never reprimanded me, and I came out fine. So there you go.
Well, I guess there was no need to reprimand.
That's true. I never really did
You were a
anything
perfect
bad.
baby.
So I feel like if your kids are like good, if they're like little,
Little
monsters,
Beccas.
then but if they're little Beccas, then we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Little monster.
Yeah.
We'll
might be
see.
tough.
You never know.
Yeah. Okay. So congratulations, Rachel.
Thank
won
you.
by a score of 7 to 5 to 5.
I really needed to make up for the absolute obliteration of my character by President Harvey Sanger. It was quite the
So,
embarrassment.
A revenge game. for
It
Rachel.
was. It was.
And you succeeded.
But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you had fun. And thank you so much, Becca, for coming and taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Yes, thank you
to
for having
play
me.
with us. And as always, it is Scholars with a capital S.